Hi everyone, just a very quick thought on this week's Parsha and how it relates to the devastating circumstances that we find ourselves in right now as the Jewish nation. So this week's Parsha, Mishpatim, is full of mitzvos, beginning to end. But there's one that stands out as being very interesting and a little strange even, and that is discussing a borrower and a lender. That if somebody borrows money from you and then they just can't pay you back for whatever reason, they can give you a collateral. You can ask them for collateral. They give you something that belongs to them that you hold on to until they can pay you back. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. That's normal. But then the Torah continues to say, however, if it's the only thing they own, then you have to give it back to them at night. Like, for example, if they give you the only pair of clothing that they have, pajamas, whatever, you have to give it to them. If it's a blanket, it's the only blanket that they have, you have to give it back to them at night so that they can sleep calmly, peacefully, comfortably, because that's all they have. They don't have anything else. And it actually seems to be counterproductive to what the entire idea of collateral is all about. It's so that they'll feel that pressure and get the money back for you because they need that blanket back. But no, the Torah says it doesn't matter. Law, justice, they have to have accountability. So this is what has to be done. But we also have to have compassion. It teaches us to be compassionate to people even under law and order, which is just an incredible example of who we are as Jewish people, what the Torah and mitzvahs are all about. It's all about making us more empathetic and more compassionate to the needs of others. And then the Torah continues by saying, Ki yitz'ak elai, they're calling out to me. And I say, Vishamati, and I hear, I'm listening. I hear you. Ki chanun ani, because I am compassionate. This person who borrowed money from me, he doesn't have a voice. He's in the most vulnerable position. He's calling out to me, but he doesn't have a voice. So I am listening. I hear you. I have to be compassionate to you. I'm with you. This unbelievable concept that this person who borrowed money from me, I have to be compassionate to them. Now, the underlying message here is that we who have a voice have to advocate for those who don't have a voice. We have to have compassion and be the voice for those who cannot fend for themselves. And that's why this week's Parsha speaks all about widows and orphans and gerim and anyone who is in a vulnerable position. We have to be their voice. We have to be the people who can help them and lift them up. We have to be the ones who advocate for them and who protect them. And this applies to all of the chatufim, to all of the shivuyim, all of the people who are still in captivity. They don't have a voice, and we have to be their voice. We have to keep davening for them and keep doing mitzvos for them and keep advocating for them because they don't have a voice. We have to be their voice. That is the mitzvah that we have in the Parsha this week. And now, in the honor and the memory of Shiri, Ariel, and Bibas, and all of the hostages that we have lost, they didn't have a voice. They couldn't protect themselves. They were in the most vulnerable position, and they couldn't advocate for themselves, and they couldn't speak for themselves. In their zechus, let's work on being the voice for anyone in our lives who don't have a voice. Being extra compassionate to people even when law and justice seems to be a contradiction to the compassion. This is what the Torah is teaching us. It doesn't matter if somebody needs a little extra love or a little extra support or whatever it is. Let's go out of our way to be extra compassionate to the people around us. I want to wish you all the most beautiful Shabbos, and it should be filled with bracha, filled with besuros tovos, with good news for you, for your families, and for all of Klal Yisrael. We should open our phones after Shabbos to only good news. Sending you all so much love.